Good day to you, partner. I'm keen, and I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken camp.
Hey guys, Wheatsoft here, aka the Skeleton King. So, I normally don't do videos like this, but this video is actually gonna be a bit different. It's kind of because this build sucks. So, as you know, I've been going deep into all of, wow, I can't play right now. Sorry, I'm gonna be using my, my mouse pad, okay? So, I'm actually going to switch back to my actual mouse for a second so I can actually get this done and then go back to my mouse pad. That'll be better. Okay, that's the infinity. So, first we'll just get through what the video's going to be. Oh, I didn't finish summoning. Oh, great. I'm going to be playing a main hand infinity build, but I actually changed the build quite a bit. So let me show you the damage. We're now max golem. That is correct. So I'm sure Knife Wrench is very happy. The damage is super good, okay? I also have 2 extra skill points. That's after getting bone armor. I guess you could actually get, what level am I? 94. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so you could actually get revives and desecrate. You could get some curse support if you want. More points in the blood warp would probably be a good idea. This is supposed to be the running man, right? And right here we got this sick pus spitter. I don't know if my IAS is complete. I meant to actually fix that, but I just don't give a shit at all because this build really did not go well. So the idea behind this variant of the main hand infinity build is that I would basically do nothing, which, you know, many people, that's already what they do when they play Summoner. So what's the good thing about this? The reason I'm making a video, well, I don't know if that's a good thing about it, but the reason I'm making a video is basically because, well, sure, let's get some more experience. The reason I'm making a video is because I want to show you that there are ways to play my kinds of builds AFK, right? So now we've got our main hand infinity, we're going to have all of our cyclone and crap, and we just, wow. Yeah, in T1s, you actually don't even need the lower res to proc until you face certain enemies. So yeah, we're just going to have a casual map, and I'm going to talk about some of my plans, and yeah, that's going to be it. By the way, I can play more aggressively, but in certain situations, it probably wouldn't go well. And I kind of want to talk and pick up gear and crap, and that's what we're going to be doing. So anyways, by the way, if you're wondering, the reason why this build doesn't work, I guess I can show that off once these guys are dead. The reason this build doesn't work is watch. If I just keep running, by the way, this is not the best map to actually keep running, is she won't attack enough. See, she hasn't attacked one time. See, she will attack when I warp. And that is important to note, because Topwug was under the impression she'd attack more. And that's because he was thinking about playing basically the Landis 3 style of Poison Nova, where he actually experimented using Spitting Pus in his play. And yes, lower resist does affect poison abilities. It is not like, what's it called? Conviction, which only affects, you know, regular elements, not poison. So there is actually a reason to run Spitting Pus with poison, but it's kind of niche, and basically the way they've changed curses and the way they this build operates, it does not work. So do I recommend you playing a poison build with Act 1 Pittance Pus? By the way, witches are actually super dangerous with this build. I don't know why, but they seem to chew up bone armor so quick. So if anybody ever does that, keep that in mind. And if anyone's wondering about the music, the guy, like, look at how quickly they went through that. It's actually kind of insane. I actually didn't like this map while playing Running Man. It was just basically too tight to where I couldn't actually run around well. Like, literally, Jungle felt great. Ashen Plains felt great. This basically felt as good as Tombs. And Tombs does not feel that good, right? In fact, maybe it actually feels worse than Tombs. Tombs actually has a lot of wide open rooms. It maybe has a narrow hallway like this, But when you actually get to the next room, you have way more room to run. Is that immune to fire? No, he's not. Where are you? Cast more lower resist. So by the way, the other reason why this build doesn't work is even when I was playing quicker, yeah, by the way, it's just impossible to kill an immune to fire with this build, so we're just going to get past that, is she doesn't actually proc lower resist much. So if you look at how the weapon works, I might as well actually talk about the build, is it's a 28% chance to cast a level 35 lower resist. So it's actually 45% pierce. It's actually a really good proc. But it doesn't really happen as much as I think it should. Oh, wow. Where's my cyclone armor? Oh, geez. I almost died. So I don't know what's going on, but for some reason, it just, like, attack. Like, look. One lower resist. Lower resist. All right. I don't know. I just feel like it doesn't quite proc as much as it should. And I swear, if you actually warp with her, it does, like, I don't know. Let's see. No lower resist. Lower resist on the enemy in the back. Wow, how is that possible? No lower resist. No lower resist! I swear to God, something's wrong with her. Like, it doesn't proc. I don't know. I feel like if ever she uses strafe... No, it procced right there. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting really unlucky, or every time I pay attention, I notice it, and everything's fine. I asked, actually, Woogs if he could check the proc percentages. What is this? Oh, Mendel event? Lol. Alright, whatever. This is perfect for this. So, I'm done with Main Hand Infinity. By the way, there actually is technically one other variant, and basically I would use the Meme Wand, and then I would use my shield to have Vigor, and then my Merc would be Emilio Zenith. And why I would do that is because I would get a high level Defiance. I would actually get a Vigor for walking in town, which actually does matter, because when I go into town, you know, I don't get her Vigor aura. I get a ton of res from Zenith. Emilio still does great single target damage, and I actually think that would be technically optimal. And then you could actually give Infinity to Emilio and make the Iron Golem out of Zenith, and that would be a more safe version of the build. So it kind of just depends. But this is actually pretty good for killing men down. So by the way, let's check out this crap. Dog shit. I guess maybe that's worth the core. I don't know. So the end of the season plans is my next build is I'm gonna do Fizz Summoner, okay? So I hope everybody's goddamn happy, alright? I really don't want to play Fizz Summoner. There is one reason why I'm even gonna do it, and I keep forgetting to test it. Fortified maps actually might make Fizz Summoner viable. Ooh, Splitter of the Void. Ah, cool. Not that they're worth much anymore, but still. Nice little drop, right? Can't really complain about that. Wait, how much res was that? God, that's the no faster run walk. If I had more res, maybe. What level was that? Oh, I thought it was maybe an under 30 joule. Maybe it still wouldn't have been good enough. Anyways, dude, the level duelers are insane. Their gear is so good. So, yes, Fizz Summoner is going to be a build coming up very quickly. And then, Woogs and I are actually, this is going to be the, how good is this? Ooh, I might actually core that, see if I can get a good black box in this character. Woogs and I are going to do a podcast, and the podcast is going to cover a couple of things. It's going to cover the recent changes to bossing, which I'm really interested in, and I hope people aren't just negative about it. I think right now the way it's being portrayed is pretty dog shit. I'll give it that. But like people have been saying for a while that the way the bossing system is not very good. One of the problems with it is that like only some people farm Rathma. As a guy who actually did declone, I kind of know the reason. I actually understand declone because I actually did the fight. But yes, I had to fail 4 times before I could finish the fight and understand everything that was important to understand. If you don't go through that process, you're never going to get there. And many people aren't willing to risk that. And when it comes to a fight like Rathma, Rathma has been changed arguably more than declone in its iterations. And the information on these changes is not really well accurately described by anybody or any guides. And that's partly because, declone did get a few changes, especially early on, that were quite dramatic. But, back then, there was still a higher player base, and there was a lot of people actually going into the changes. So, it was easy to, keep up and figure out where you need to be at the fight. Because I don't think declone's gotten, significant changes for most classes in, 4 seasons or something. Maybe more than that. And yeah, the game had a way bigger player base back then, way bigger, you know. And it was cool playing back then. It really was fun. I remember the coolest thing about Season 1 is Season 1 almost had a large player base for almost the entirety of it. Like, yeah, sure, it slowed down, I get it. But comparing the slowdown to Season 1 to even Season 2, night and day. And then Season 2 to Season 3, more day or night changes. That guy's immune to fire. So one of the things you could do with this build is you could also get amp and just put 1 point into it, which would kind of help your merc kill them faster. I don't think it's worth it. Like, if you're going to be playing a build this lazily, like, just stick with no curses. Is this the best way to play a do-nothing Necromancer? I think so, because if you're talking about a no-swap Skellymancer, those are actually really solid, and you can actually make a no-swap Skellymancer that has all of the snapshot gear, but then never changes any of it. And that's because basically, if you're going to be running T1 and T2, you're not going to be dying with in-game gear, even snapshot. Especially if you get like a +4 circlet with some sockets in it. You know, basically you get that snapshot gear that has some room for some defensive abilities. Anything like that, and you're actually pretty tanky. It's pretty cool. And, you know, T1 and T2 are so nerfed, and summons are so powerful at in-game that you should be fine, especially if you just have some pot spamming and things like that. And by the way, dude, witches really are the bane of this build. They're so awful to deal with. Stop it, die. So yeah, I would not recommend this map with this build, which is kind of funny because usually it's a really good map for fire-based builds. But besides talking about the boss changes, which are just necessary, something has to be changed. And I'm very happy they're trying something. Like, let's at least give them that. Even if these changes turn out to be bad, having a change at this point in the game is better than no change. I don't think anybody would argue that. Like, even people who think it's a bad change, okay, maybe I actually know somebody who would argue that. I don't think it's bad. All right, our player base is shrinking, and even if I don't agree with this change, if this change gets more people interested in the game, playing longer, farming longer, etc., it'll be a better season. Do I think there will be some issues with Rathma declone drops, and will there be some issues for players who are actually better and know the fights? Yeah, but just the fact that players have been unable to do Rathma for seasons, even to understand the fight mechanics accurately, it's in a bad spot, and this is like the beginning of people being able to understand fight mechanics in a more intrinsic or organic way. It's really hard to catch up with Rathma with how little accurate information there is on it. And so yeah, give them a break on that. But also in that video, we're going to be actually going over the Poison Strike Necro, and I actually just like playing this build running. It's so much better. It's just this map really sucks for it. Oh, where's the boss? I hate this guy. Dude, you can never see him. Where are you? Is he dead? He can't be dead. Wait, he actually died? No. Wait, what? Holy shit. We wrecked him. Alright, anyways, I didn't even notice he died. We're going to be doing a video talking about Poison Strike Necro versus Poison Strike Assassin. And I actually mean that. I mean literally Poison Strike Necro versus literally Poison Strike Assassin. So the Assassin's not going to be using claws. She's going to be using a Venom Dagger. And there was some gear drop I wanted to pick up at some point. I forgot what it was. Oh, shit. Did I get it? No, I don't think I did. Is that the whole map? I think it is. But there was one drop I missed and I really wanted it. Anyways, the Assassin comparison to Necro with Venom, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited about that. Of course, I'm going to do the Fizz Summoner. Maybe there wasn't one more drop. I thought there was. Maybe I picked it up. The Fizz Summoner, and then I do want to do basically like one final Optimal Summoner video. I don't think I'm going to go back to Main Hand Infinity, although I kind of want to do one more Ashen Plains, because that was so cool. So we'll see. Worst comes to worst, it could come in the next seasons. If anyone's wondering, the guy playing on this album, his name is Keith Hartley, and he was a great drummer in the British scene, and he actually created his own band. And this album is kind of a hidden gem. Whoa. Okay, I don't know if this is good enough for LLDers, but this might be. Okay, so any amount of life is good, although they'd like 8. Mana is actually super important to, well, probably less important in PD2. Mana is actually super crucial in vanilla D2 LLDing because you just have no resources. So this actually might be GG. Oh my god, that's so cool. Alright, I think I'm just going to leave the game. So save that. Well, let's do that. Fuck slamming those items. Alright, guys. Skelly King out. This build sucked. Okay? This build absolutely was dog shit. I'm so sorry. But some other good summon videos to come. And some podcasts before the next season. And, by the way, face reveal in the podcast with Top Wugs. Alright, guys. GG. I had to play some of this. This is just going to be Keith talking about music. Leaving Trunk is a very famous blues song that was popularized by Taj Mahal. And these are some white guys. Actually, Taj Mahal, I believe, had a white drummer on this album when he recorded it in 1966, or is it 67? This album's 69. It's Taj Mahal self-titled. He's sitting in front of a dilapidated house. White drummer, I think Indian guitar player, part Indian. And Taj Mahal. And I actually think he might have had a white bass player. So anyways, but Taj Mahal's a very black dude. And anyways, this is some English guys making a pretty funky version of this song. And by the way, funk was literally invented in its modern form that we understand it by Sly. And until Sly, funk was just kind of like, had a massive groove. And this is like basically Sly came around, and all of a sudden from 67, 66, when guys were playing groovy, it's like, oh, this is what funk is? Alright guys, music rant over, skulking out, GG.